Beijing is sending a blunt warning to Washington. China says any U.S. attempt to contain its rise is doomed to fail.
No Green Mountain can ever block the river's inevitable eastward flow. The facts have long since proven that any attempt to contain or encircle China will never succeed. Mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation are the only true and proper path for China and the US to coexist. The Chinese side is willing to work together with the American side to promote the stable development of China-US relations, while at the same time firmly safeguarding its own sovereignty, security, and development interests. We hope the US side will foster an objective and rational understanding of China and uphold the bottom line of no conflict and no confrontation. Stop hyping up the so-called China military threat. Cease instigating bloc confrontation. Stop saying one thing and doing another on issues that concern China's core interests, and take concrete actions to foster the healthy and stable development of relations between our two militaries. We firmly oppose any actions against China's counterterrorism efforts.
The message comes just days after the Pentagon unveiled its new national defense strategy, naming China as its top strategic priority for the year ahead, while insisting relations should remain respectful, not confrontational. Speaking at a defense briefing in Beijing, Chinese military spokesman Zhang Bin said history has already delivered its verdict, that blocking or encircling China, he warned, will not work. But even as the rhetoric sharpens, Beijing is also leaving the door open. China says it is willing to work with the United States to stabilize ties, with President Donald Trump expected to visit China in April for talks with President Xi Jinping. The new U.S. defense strategy marks a notable shift. Unlike earlier Pentagon documents, it avoids openly branding China or Russia as enemies, and for the first time makes no direct reference to Taiwan, the self-governed island China claims as its own. Yet the strategy still calls for a strong denial defense across the first island chain, a strategic arc stretching from Japan to Taiwan, aimed squarely at deterring Beijing's military ambitions. China says that contradiction is impossible to ignore. Zhang accused Washington of saying one thing while doing another, especially on what Beijing calls its core interests, and he made clear China would resolutely safeguard them. Tensions have already been rising. Just last month, China launched live-fire military drills around Taiwan after the United States approved a fresh wave of arms sales to Taipei. Meanwhile, China also rejected accusations that Beijing has supported Russia's ballistic missile production, insisting its position on the Ukraine crisis remains consistent and clear.
Regarding the first question you mentioned, China's position on the Ukraine crisis has been consistent and unequivocally clear. We have never sought to fan the flames, nor have we ever attempted to profit from the situation, and we absolutely will not accept any attempts to shift responsibility or blame. Regarding the second question, China has consistently urged all parties to uphold the three principles for de-escalation: no battlefield spillover, no conflict escalation, and no fanning the flames, jointly creating conditions for a political resolution of the crisis. China will continue to play a constructive role in alleviating the humanitarian situation in Ukraine in its own way.
The news comes after The Telegraph said it had identified at least $10.3 billion worth of equipment China has sent to boost Russia's military industry, including machines and tools used to build Oreshnik warheads. A specific computer numerical control machine, a Chinese-made carousel lathe, was identified by Ukrainian intelligence at Russia's state-owned Vodkinsk plant, which produces the Oreshnik and other missiles, according to The Telegraph. As Washington recalibrates its strategy and Beijing hardens its warnings, the question now is whether upcoming talks can cool the temperature, or whether this uneasy balancing act is heading toward a far more dangerous confrontation.
This spokesperson, driven by personal political motives, has repeatedly made outrageous and absurd statements. He is accustomed to inciting, provoking, and confronting, which has severely damaged China's national interests and dignity. The Chinese side firmly opposes such actions and will absolutely not tolerate them. It is the solemn duty of the Chinese embassy in the Philippines to defend the nation's interests and dignity. The words and actions of this Philippine spokesperson and a small group of military officials have also gravely harmed China-Philippines relations and mutual trust, and are the main drivers of their spiraling decline. The Chinese side once again urges the Philippine side to immediately take effective measures to eliminate the adverse impact caused so as not to affect normal diplomatic communication between our two countries or even cause greater damage to China-Philippines relations. We also strongly advise these aforementioned few individuals to immediately cease their provocations and troublemaking, stop their attacks and smears against China, and stop colluding with external anti-China forces. Otherwise, they will inevitably pay the price for their despicable actions. President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Starmer held a successful meeting this morning. Both leaders agreed that China and the UK should develop a long-term, stable, comprehensive strategic partnership. This reflects both sides' new vision for China-UK relations and provides a positive and stable outlook for cooperation across all sectors of both nations. For some time now, China has been actively cooperating with Myanmar and other nations to combat cross-border telecommunications and internet fraud crimes and jointly eradicate the scourge of online gambling and telecom fraud. This is to safeguard the safety of people's lives and property and the order of exchanges and cooperation among regional countries, achieving remarkable results. China will continue to deepen international law enforcement cooperation, intensify efforts to combat telecom fraud, online gambling, and other related cross-border criminal activities, and jointly eradicate the cancer of gambling and fraud. For a long time, China and Finland have enjoyed friendly relations built on mutual respect and trust. Prime Minister Orpo's visit was packed with a tight schedule, and it achieved fruitful outcomes. Concerning the specifics of the discussions, China has already published a news release, which you are welcome to check.